Hello, everyone. This video serves as support for any students who are needing some help on how to tackle the Unit 1 essay. So, the first essay of the Social 30 1 course on Brightspace. Um, again, this is kind of just a general overview of the assignment. I'll talk a little bit about some examples of strong essays. I'll go over the rubric. And if you're needing any more specific help outside of this, please reach out to your teacher. Okay. So, part A of your diploma is going to include two essays. The first essay is going to be an analysis of three sources. The sources are sometimes visual, cartoons, quotes, maps, graphs, graphics, anything like that. And then assignment number two in your diploma is going to be one source, and it's going to be usually a quote. And you are going to be tasked with a question in relating to the quote. And the question is, to what extent should we embrace the ideological perspective or perspectives reflected in the source? This is the question that you will 100% get on assignment 2 of your diploma. It happens every year, the same question with a different source. Okay. And with the source and the question, you are required to do three major things. One, analyze the source, and in analyzing the source, demonstrate your understanding of the ideological perspectives of the source. Two, establish and argue a position in response to the question presented. And that question, again, is to what extent should we embrace the ideological perspective reflected in the source? And three, support your position by using evidence from your knowledge and understanding of social studies. So, in your diploma, you're going to be drawing on the whole course, the whole textbook, all chapters, all lessons. And for this essay, I'm asking you to draw on just Unit 1, Chapter 1, and Chapter 2. You're just drawing on the vocabulary and some of the course concepts that we've talked about thus far. Okay. The quote right here is, unlike a drop of water, which loses its identity when it joins the ocean, man does not lose his being in the society in which he lives. Man's life is independent. He is born not for the development of society alone, but for the development of himself too. Okay. So, with that source, what ideological perspectives? And we haven't covered a lot of them, but we've covered the general major ones, that being individualism and collectivism. Okay. So, I would want you to identify, do you feel like this quote is connecting more to individualism or more to collectivism? Which principles of those would this person agree or disagree with? Do you agree or disagree with this quote? You can talk about the things that we learned about individual identity, collective identity, any of those pieces. Anything from your textbook is game to use. Okay. Now, how it's graded is out of 30, and we will be using a rubric that is modeled after the diploma rubric. So you would see a very, very similar rubric doing your diploma. Okay. So 8 points each for analyzing the source, argument, and evidence, and then 6 points for communication. So communication is all of your grammar, spelling, vocabulary, all of those pieces. Okay. Evidence is, what are you pulling in? Are you talking about Jean-Jacques Rousseau or Karl Marx or any of those influential ideological thinkers? Are you bringing in stuff from your textbook? Are you bringing in stuff from your lessons to help you argue? Right? And then you have your argumentation, right? Is it well argued? Is it clear, easy to understand, straightforward, right? Consistent, compelling, okay? And then The final one is the analysis of the source, right? Is it insightful, sophisticated, comprehensive? Is it straightforward, generalized? Okay. Look at all of these vocabulary when you're redoing or reviewing your essay, so that you can kind of get a sense of, oh, I think that my essay would fall somewhere in like the S category, which is satisfactory. Or I think that this is an excellent essay because it's sophisticated, it's comprehensive, it's compelling, right? So, reviewing your own essay, look at this rubric. One thing that I have included um, in the assignment description is a link to an essay example from the January 2020 diploma. Okay, so you can see here that this assignment page is very, very similar. Um, the instructions in the question is identical to what you have. The only thing difference is the source, right? And the source here says the strength of a country is best achieved through its citizens. A country dominated by a powerful leadership is destined for failure. Okay. So here you can kind of see, okay, so this person believes that like in democracy and a lot more liberal principles, democratic or political freedom, so right off the bat, you can kind of get a sense of that. And then everything that you know that's connected to democracy, political freedom, is things that you can bring into this essay. Okay. And they have a suggested word count range. So you can see here 750 words to 1600. As a Dash 1 student, that's our expectation as well for this Unit 1 essay. And of course, you have as much time as you need, but in the diploma, the suggested time is 90 to 105 minutes. And of course, you would have extra time. I think the total for part A is 6 hours. So you could spend 3 hours on this essay when you go to write your diploma. So these are really nice because it gives you 3 essays written by students in January 2020. The first essay is a student that scored an S, a satisfactory. So this is a 60%. Okay. So this person wrote 2 pages and a paragraph, and they made a couple different arguments. They brought in some kind of contemporary perspectives, right? They talked about Kim Jong Un, which is not necessarily someone that you'll learn about in Social 30 specifically, but you can bring in any of those perspectives, right? Also talked about Hitler, FLQ crisis, and of course, these students are writing these essays after taking the whole Social 30 course. So we're not expecting you to have kind of the same level of Social 30 understanding, but we still want to see a lot of like the vocabulary and examples that were listed within the textbook or within the lessons, or even happening today that you can bring in. Okay. And then it has a description and a rationale of why that student scored a satisfactory, right? So they actually quote the essay from the student and then give a little bit of a description. And then if you go down, this student scored a proficient, which means an 80%, and you can read this essay if you like. You can kind of help maybe follow the format or say, oh, this student brought in this many different ideas and they really describe this well and this well. I'm going to try to do that in my essay as well. And then the final essay is a student that got 100%. Okay, so you can read through this essay and say, okay, this is what an excellent essay looks like. um, for this type of assignment. And you can try to aim for that. And that's all. Once you have a essay written, and you can write your essay in Microsoft Word, or any program that you use, Google Docs if you're working on a Chromebook, and you can submit it the same way that you submitted the chapter 1 and 2 assignment. You can drag and drop, or you can submit a link, or any of those pieces. And if we have any issues, then we'll contact you. And of course, any questions, concerns, if you're struggling, I don't know how to start this essay, or any of those pieces, please contact your teacher. Okay. Good luck with this essay.